Hello, it's a privilege to welcome you to NASDAQ's 9th Annual Veterans Day event to honor the active duty military members, veterans and their families. My name is Jeremy School. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer at NASDAQ. As a brother of a veteran and the executive sponsor of NASDAQ's Veterans Employee Network, I'm honored to be here today. This year's Veterans event, in partnership with Thayer Leadership and Chief Executive Group, focuses on how corporate leaders can capitalize on veteran talent with lessons from the military to the boardroom. The collective impact of conversations between military and corporate leaders is enormous, and together we can create significant opportunity for veterans, military spouses, and their families. During today's event, Dan Rice, co-founder and president of Thayer Leadership at West Point, as well as an Army veteran, will speak about the importance of Veterans Day. We are also honored to welcome the 60th Superintendent of the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, Lieutenant General Darryl A. Williams, who will speak about identifying, building, and testing leaders who excel in volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous environments. I think it's VUCA, or as what is known, has been a term that many across corporate America have become quite familiar with over the past 2 years during the COVID pandemic. Additionally, we will hear from a panel of C-suite executives and military leaders as they discuss methods and benefits for capitalizing on military talent within your organization. We'll wrap today's event with a keynote from General Dennis Remir, a West Point graduate, veteran, 33rd Chief of Staff of the U.S. Army, and pioneer of the concept development for VUCA at the Military Academy and finding your purpose and leaving a legacy. Now, please join me in welcoming the West Point Cadet Glee Club for the national anthem.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets wrecked there, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good morning. Thank you, Jeremy and the West Point Glee Club. My name is Dan Rice. I'm the president of Thayer Leadership at West Point and an Army veteran. Our company, Thayer Leadership, was founded in 2010 at West Point by myself and 4 West Point graduates, the late Fred Malik, Bill Murdy, Rick Minicozy, and Tim Tyson. We created Thayer Leadership to bring the world to West Point and to bring West Point leadership to the world. We consistently hear from CEOs who want to do more with veterans. They want to support veterans, but a lot of times they don't know how. So we started this partnership with NASDAQ 9 years ago to help educate both ourselves and others on the different ways we can support veterans, the military, and our military families. This is our 9th year of doing this. Next year, we hope to be back in person here at Times Square at the NASDAQ with our wonderful hosts from the NASDAQ. And this year, we're very proud to partner with Chief Executive Group to help host this event. Veterans Day was originally called Armistice Day. It evolved after World War I, which at the time was not called World War I, it was called the Great War. Nobody knew at the time that there'd be another war 20 years later called World War II. But we have three amazing holidays in America to support our nation. We have Memorial Day, which is the most exclusive. That basically honors all of our war dead, or those who have given their life for our country. That's in May. In November, on the 11th day of November, today, we have Veterans Day, and that's to honor our 22 million veterans who have served our nation. And on the 4th of July, that's a day to support all Americans and the founding of our nation. Over 100,000 Americans died in World War I. At the time, when they called it the Great War and they came back, they decided to start this holiday having parades and having an honor on the 11th minute of the 11th hour of the 11th month. And so that's how Veterans Day was started. It changed the name to Veterans Day after World War II. But we traditionally take a two minute break prior to honor this day. So that's why we started this event at 11:02. We didn't want to start with a 2 minute break because that's not the best airing of viewership. But that's why we started at 11:02. But Veterans Day holds a special place in my heart. Being an Army veteran, my brother enlisted at 17. I went to West Point, was the first in the family to graduate from college, and was in and out of the military 3 different times. Was able to see our military both at war in Iraq and Afghanistan and dozens of other countries. And I have a special awe, basically, of our military. And our military veterans are a national treasure, certainly. As president of Thayer Leadership, it's my privilege to work with some amazing retired colonels, generals, and some of the best, and they work with our clients. And right now I'd like to share a short video with 3 of our faculty members and their thoughts on what Veterans Day means to them.
Hello, I'm retired Major General Bill Rapp. To me, Veterans Day reminds me of the privilege I feel to have been given the opportunity to serve this great nation in uniform. People thank me for my service, and I honestly reply, it has been a privilege and an honor to have served. And I thank this country for recognizing its veterans. Have a great day.
It's Veterans Day, a day in which we thank veterans for their service. So I would like to do just that. To my husband, Joe, to my son, Jay, my son-in-law, Stephen, my brothers, Timer and Kevin, and my sisters, Dee Dee and Connie, thank you for your service to our nation. To my colleagues here at Thayer Leadership who have served, it is an honor to work with you each and every day. Thank you for your service. So there you have it. It's Veterans Day. Thank a veteran, and remember, leaders must be the standard.
Hey, Brian Watson here. You know, we use the term veteran in many ways. We describe people as a veteran football player or a veteran executive who's been with a company for a long time. It's a term that has come to denote a level of experience of getting teams through adversity when the chips are really down. As this nation pauses to celebrate Veterans Day, we're going to celebrate the experience of those that know firsthand what it means to fulfill an oath. An oath that I think arguably is the most profound oath any person can make. To support and defend the Constitution of the United States and to do so against all enemies, foreign and domestic. It's that kind of experience that we're going to celebrate on Veterans Day. So thanks, veterans, for stepping to the plate and knocking it out of the park. Happy Veterans Day.
Thank you, Generals Rapp, LaBeouf, and Watson. We really appreciate your insights. One of the reasons I think it's really important to honor Veterans Day every year is not only to honor our veterans, but to inspire future generations. Since 1973, we have eliminated the draft. We just completed 20 years of war, and we were able to raise basically several armies in order to continue to fight. it's an all volunteer force. And by doing these Veterans Day events, by having commercials from USAA, New Day USA, or JP Morgan honoring veterans, it also inspires future generations, which I think is very important. When the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq were at their peak, we also had a great recession. Veteran unemployment went to 29% after soldiers were getting out of the military and they couldn't find jobs. And so, a number of organizations led by Jamie Dimon at JP Morgan started the 100,000 Jobs Initiative. And that was an amazing program that really rallied corporate America to go out of their way and make a concerted effort to hire veterans. Well, when we as America identify a problem, we rally and put solutions together to solve that. One of the challenges we have right now, in addition to the wars ending, unfortunately, we had 7,000 Americans lose their lives in Iraq and Afghanistan. They left behind 20,000 children. Those children are now in need of college and scholarships and support. I'd like to introduce Dave Kim, who's my classmate from West Point. He founded the Children of the Fallen Patriots, which is an amazing organization. I'd like to introduce Dave to discuss how, hey, Dave.
Hi, Dan. Great to see you. Thank you very much. That was a great opening tribute, very moving. And, thank you for what you guys are doing there, leader development. And thank you to NASDAQ for your leadership and focusing the business community on the military community and making those connections. Appreciate being here.
Absolutely. And Dave, we'd love to hear you kind of talk about how and why you founded Children of the Fallen Patriots and how you've basically already supported 2,100 of the 20,000 children that have been left without a parent.
Sure thing. So not too long after we graduated in 1989, I was stationed down in Panama, 7th Infantry Division with a young man named Sergeant Laney Gibbs. That's when we executed Operation Just Cause. And unfortunately, Sergeant Gibbs got killed in the fighting. And that was 5 days before Christmas. And he had a baby daughter due in March, and he was only 21. I didn't know Sergeant Gibbs personally, but he was the only member of our unit that got killed. And so that was a tough one for all of us. And I just kept thinking about his daughter and what was going to happen to her, who's going to take care of her, and the thousands of other children like her who've lost a parent in the line of duty in the military. And so my wife and I started Fallen Patriots, and I want to thank you for being on the board for many, many years and helping us achieve all this. But we started Fallen Patriots to honor the sacrifice of the men and women like Sergeant Gibbs. And we thought the best way we could do that is to invest in the future of those they love most in the world, which are, of course, their kids. So we provide college scholarships and educational counseling to all children across the military of all branches who've lost a parent in line of duty. And thanks to so many patriotic Americans out there and companies out there, we've been able to provide over 50 million in support and to 2,100 students, as you said. And that's there's a much bigger need than that, but we've made a very good start.
Which is absolutely amazing. We can tell your artillery by the breaking down the 50 million. Yeah, in addition to the scholarships, Dave, what I've been just amazingly impressed is, the care and support that you give these children. And I mean, everything from internships to jobs after they graduate. And that's really where I'd love to see anybody that's, here on the call, get their organization involved, because, to give one of these children an internship in the summer or to hire them after graduation is a tremendous relief. Can you talk about that and some of the companies that have done that?
Sure, absolutely. Well, it's an honor to have a number of corporate partners who are very interested in providing employment opportunities and holistic care for our students, not only send them to school, but then prepare them for the professional world. And so we've placed around 40 students between internships and full-time job opportunities at companies like Royal Bank of Canada and Vineyard Vines and Citi and many other big businesses out there. And it's tremendously valuable because our students need a lot of help. They don't know what they don't know. 40% of them are first generation college graduates. 1/3 are minorities. The majority of it's mostly the surviving mother is the survivor is trying to raise 2 kids on less than $50,000. And so the students need our financial help, but what they also need is exposure to this broader universe. Many of them just have no idea what banking is all about, or management consulting, or operations, or sports marketing, or whatever it may be. And so we host these career days, career seminars with corporate partners to bring in a group of our students and expose them to the business world and new opportunities. And then we also have a internal recruiting function for internships and full-time job opportunities.
And that's fantastic. And if anybody listening is interested in getting involved, getting their organization to support these kids, Tyler at fallenpatriots.org is the best point of contact. TYLER at fallenpatriots.org. Dave, can you tell us some of the other challenges? What's the biggest challenge in identifying the children and then getting them into the pipeline and then getting them the scholarships? And I know Cynthia, I think, probably knows every single one of the 2,100.
Yeah, yes, that's my wife, Cynthia, and so she looks after the program side of things and spends a lot of time with the students and is very close with many of them. I'd say there are a couple challenges. Number one is there are a lot of lost sheep, as we call them out there. There are about 25,000 students who've lost a parent in the line of duty over the last 35 years. And I say about because nobody knows exactly how many there are. There are pockets of this information in different charities, in different branches of the government. There's Privacy Act barriers to getting in touch with all those people. And so that's one of our twin strategic missions, is to find all 25,000, because nobody's ever done it in terms of the charity world. So we've made a good start there. We've found 10,500 of them, which is, I don't know there's anyone who has any more than that. I think we probably found the most out of our space, because this is all we do. We're a focus factory. And so that outreach is constant in terms of getting them enrolled. And then number two, the other big challenge is financial. There are a couple of different VA programs for our students, but it still leaves a gap of about $25,000 per person for 4 years of college when you net everything together, because the programs pay out at different levels. But that's the gap. And that's quite a big gap when you consider some of the economic numbers that I mentioned before. So times 25,000 students is 625 million. We've made a good dent in that, but there's still a very long way to go. And then the last thing I would say is this is sort of a good challenge in the sense that it's often difficult for us to talk the families into taking our help, which is just incredibly inspiring. It's a positive reflection on the character of the people in uniform who are their parents and raise them to be extremely self-reliant. But that's why half of our staff are themselves Gold Star children that we help graduate from college, and they're doing the outreach to their peers. And so at the end of the day, they're great at being able to get their peers to let us, help carry the rucksack for a while.
Absolutely. Well, just like corporate America came together to reduce veterans unemployment from 29% down to, I think, 4%, which is lower than the national average. Hopefully we can get every corporation to sign up to help support these kids. And really thanks to the NASDAQ for allowing us to have this platform to work with the NASDAQ companies. And Dave, hopefully a number of companies will engage you. Any final thoughts, anything you'd like to share?
Well, I'd just like to thank everyone here for taking the time to support veterans and actively engage like this. It is incredibly important. The veteran community really notices that and appreciates it. But I think just as important is the fact you're spreading this among the civilian population. I think there's a tremendous sea of goodwill among civilians for the military, but a lot of them just aren't directly connected. So please keep evangelizing for that, and we have to keep working hard together to build our values as common citizens, and supporting the military that provides our way of life is one way to do that.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for all that you and the whole organization do, Dave. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks as we beat Navy.
Absolutely. Beat Navy, sir.
All right. Thank you. And next, we'd love to have everybody here for our next speaker, the Superintendent of the United States Military Academy, Lieutenant General Darryl Williams. General Williams is a 1983 graduate from West Point and a former Army football player. I should say current, once football player, always football player. But General Williams is in charge of training and inspiring the Corps of Cadets to graduate and go off and serve a lifetime of service to the nation. He has commanded at all levels of the Army, from platoon leader all the way up to 3-star general. He commanded the Army Warrior Transition Command, U.S. Army Africa, and most recently NATO Allied Land Command in Turkey. General Williams, sir.
Good morning. I'm Lieutenant General Darryl Williams, the 60th Superintendent of the United States Military Academy. and I appreciate the opportunity to be a part of this annual discussion about leadership. I'd like to thank the Thayer Leader Development Group and NASDAQ for inviting me to share a few words with you. Let me first take a moment to acknowledge Veterans Day as we celebrate the patriotism, service, and sacrifice of all who wore the cloth of our nation, who answered the call of duty and stood in the gap in defense of our Constitution. To our veterans watching today, on behalf of the West Point team, thank you for your service and sacrifice. Today is more than an opportunity to celebrate veterans. It's also an opportunity for veterans to share their stories and the stories of other veterans with others to better connect with the American people and inspire the next generation to serve. When we talk about leaving a legacy, this is one way in which we can do that as veterans, sharing our stories with others. Ultimately, Veterans Day is a celebration of the people, and that's what the United States Army is about, people. In the United States Army, we're guided by a people first and winning matters mindset. People, our incredible and selfless soldiers, civilians, and families, are the Army's greatest strength and most important weapon system. It's our people who enable the Army's mission to deploy, fight, and win against any adversary, anytime and anywhere, against threats both known and unknown. People are the core to Army readiness, as they are to readiness of any organization. Cohesive teams who are trained, disciplined, and fit, who take care of each other and treat each other with dignity and respect, and to do the right things the right way. But the real secret sauce to cohesive teams and ultimately to readiness is character. For teams and organizations to be truly cohesive and effective, to accomplish their mission in any environment, and to truly be people-first organizations, they require leaders who are competent, but more importantly, who embody and display tremendous character. Developing those leaders of character is at the heart and soul of what we do at the United States Military Academy. Our mission is to educate, train, and inspire the next generation of Army officers who will lead cohesive teams built on trust, who will fight and win on the increasingly complex and dynamic 21st century battlefield. Central to our developmental model is what we call a culture of character growth, where character is integrated throughout every aspect of their experience, from the classroom to the locker room, and where everyone, staff, faculty, coaches, has a role in character development. The education, training, and the lessons that learn at West Point sustains them as they fight and win in the crucible of ground combat, as well as when they leave the Army and become leaders in the civilian sector. These young men and women who graduate from West Point will be successful and effective, not just because they're trained, disciplined, and fit, but because they're leaders of character who will live honorably, lead honorably, and demonstrate excellence. Not just in the big decisions, but in the hundreds of little decisions a leader makes daily, or the decisions in the middle of the night when no one is looking. They'll win in those complex and uncertain environments and in those moments where character rises. So as you think about leadership and leaving a legacy, I would suggest that the best legacy a leader can create is a legacy of excellence and character. And in that spirit, let me close with a quote from a tremendous leader of character and former mentor of mine, General Ray Odierno, who recently passed away. He said that being a leader is not about giving orders. It is about earning respect, leading by example, creating a positive climate, maximizing resources, inspiring others, and building teams to promote excellence. Thank you for your attention and all you do for West Point, our Army, and especially our veterans. Happy Veterans Day, and go Army!